Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. In this episode of Soloing Concepts, we're going to be in part one of a series that is really cool. It's twin harmony guitar parts. You've heard bands like Thin Lizzy, Wishbone Ash, the Allman Brothers, and others employ twin harmony guitars in their soloing, and it's a really great concept to embrace and employ when you have a two-guitar band. And what we're going to do here is we're going to reveal the mystery in how to accomplish playing twin harmony guitar parts. All right, so let's get right to it. And be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. In this first part of the series, we're going to focus on learning the progression over which you're going to play, and then introducing the scale you're going to use and how that scale works in creating the twin harmony sound. All right, so let's get right to it. The first melody is going to be in a major key. So what we've done is we created a progression here that you want to learn and then record into your looper. Now the tempo you record this at is based on your lead playing facility. So if it's a little slower, that's okay. You want to learn this, put it to a metronome, smooth it out, and then record it into your looper. There are two primary progression strum patterns and then a third one at the end of the progression. The first strum pattern is this one. 1, ghost and, mute 2, play and of 2, ghost 3, play the and of 3, then relax this and 4 and. Chicka. We call that the chicka, right? Chicka. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, when we get to the F sharp minor, we have the second rhythm figure. And it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the only change is on the fourth beat where we're playing a quarter note now. Now, for the final two bars, the E, each measure is a little different. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you're back to the head. All right? So here's what you're going for. All right, now that you understand what you're supposed to learn, go ahead and pause the video and learn this progression. Get it down, smooth it out, put it to a metronome, find out what a good tempo is for you based on your lead playing facility. If you're better, you can play at a little faster clip. If you're still working things out, slower clip. This isn't about speed, it's about quality of execution, right? You hear me say that a lot because that really matters more than playing fast. When you play things at a slower tempo, you have to be more precise as well. And so there's a lot of value in learning things at a slower tempo because then you really can take the time to put everything where it belongs. All right? So take the time to do that, and then you know what to do when you're ready to move forward. All right, since the progression is in the key of A, we need to be playing the scale in the key of A, and the scale of choice is the major scale, the diatonic scale, or the Ionian mode, depending on how you want to refer to it. It's a 7-tone scale. We're in A, it's the Do, Re, Mi scale. first octave, second octave, and you can do it in reverse. Now, you'll notice I didn't move my fingers around. It's called positional playing, and I dub it one finger, one fret. Fourth fret, first finger. Every note on the fourth fret is played by that finger. Fifth fret, second finger. Sixth fret, third finger. Seventh fret, fourth finger. So every finger has a fret domain, right? Just like that, okay? So pause, learn this if you don't already know it. If you do know it, consider this a little review. You really need to get this clear and under your belt. Just want to drop in here for a moment and remind you, down in the description, you'll see a link to patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar. Click on the link, go on over, and become a free member. In so doing, you'll have access to a number of lessons and the material for them, the written material. Then you can join as a full-on patron at one of 3 levels. In so doing, you'll get expanded versions of lessons that are featured here and access to lessons that are not featured here, as well as all written material and any audio that also comes with those lessons. So click on the link, become a free member, then become a full-on patron. And thank you for visiting my channel either way. Well, let's get back to the lesson. Now that you're comfortable playing this up and back, especially if you've never played it before, what I want you to do now, having recorded the progression into your looper, is I want you to play the scale over the looper. Now you can just play straight up and back until you get comfortable enough to start exploring melodic ideas and then begin to do just that. You can also employ the pentatonic major scale as well. So you can move between the pentatonic major in the first position and the major scale in the first position. You may know the scales all the way up and down the fretboard, and that's great. You'll want to take advantage of that later. But for now, just stay focused in the first position and get comfortable playing over this progression and hearing the potentials that it offers. So here's what you're going for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, where is it? There we go. Okay, here we go. And you just keep going, right? That's the whole idea. Play through this, have some fun with it. But again, stay focused and directed and just here in the first position. Spend about 5-10 minutes or so just really exploring some of the ideas. On screen, you see a diagram, and this is the beginning of revealing the mystery of how twin harmony guitar parts are created. Now, let me walk through this real quick. We're starting at the 4th fret on the 5th string, and you play to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and you'll see that little diagonal line. That means you move the same finger up to the 6th fret. So the first finger moves from 4 to 6, and then you continue from there. So what we've done is played in the first position of the major scale, and transition to the second position of the major scale. Now, you can play it backwards too. And when you're coming back down, at 6 on the 4th string, just move your first finger to 4 and continue back to the 4th fret of the 5th string. This is a C sharp, as is your ending note. So you're playing from C sharp to C sharp over 2 octaves. And you're starting on the 3rd note of the major scale, A, B, C sharp. And then you're continuing through the major scale. There it is, right? There's your A here. So now I'll double tap the C sharps. So all you're doing is playing from the 3 of the major scale to the 3 of the major scale 2 octaves higher, playing through the major scale, just starting on the 3rd note of the scale and continuing from there, right? That's it. So pause and practice this and get it down, both ascending and descending. It's important. Okay, pay attention because this is going to get a little involved here. What I want you to do now, having recorded your progression into the looper. Now, I did 2 passes of the progression into the looper here. You're going to play through the major scale using quarter notes. So the first thing you want to do is you want to play through this just playing with the looper. Don't record anything yet because you need to find out what your ending note is. So here's what I'm talking about. 4. Okay, now I ended on the F sharp on the 4th fret of the 4th string at the end of the second pass of the loop before the progression started again. So that's why you want to run through this to make sure you understand where it is. Now, if you did 2 passes through the looper, you're going to end in the same place that I did. The next thing you want to do is now play and record what we just did into the looper so that you now have the rhythm track and the major scale running over the top of it. And here's what you're going for. 2, 3, 4. Now I'm playing back and listening to what I just recorded. Okay, again, That was my last note through 2 passes of the progression into the looper before you heard it start on the G, or excuse me, the A again. So that's the whole idea here, is to run this up and back to your ending note wherever it is. And in this case, if you go through 2 passes, it's the F sharp on the 4th fret of the 4th string. All right, so take your time and work this out. Learn to use your looper, because if you make a mistake, you got to erase the overdub only, not the original backing track. So make sure you understand how to do that. Then record it into your looper over the top of the progression. Now it gets interesting. You've got the major scale plugged into playing over the progression in your looper, right? Now, we've returned to this diagram here, the second diagram, where you're starting on the 3 tone, right? Now, play along with the recorded part of the major scale and the progression in your looper. Now you're starting and going from 3 to 3. Now remember, when the second time through on the major scale, you ended on this note. I'll give you a hint. You're going to end, I believe, on the A here, playing through this, and then you'll have to jump back here to start the progression again. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, so here's what you're going for. 3, 4. How cool is that? All right, now you're beginning to understand what goes into playing twin harmony guitar solos. It's pretty nice stuff, right? So what I want you to do is play through C sharp to C sharp for your second guitar part. Then what I want you to do is move up 1/2 step to D and play D to D. That's a 4th. So you're going to be playing the 1 and the 4 relationship. So you're playing 4ths. It's not always 1 and 4. As you move off 2, it then goes to 5, right? And so forth. But the idea is the interval is a 4th instead of a 3rd. Then I want you to move up to play E, which is the 5th of the scale. And now you're playing relationships of 5ths, right? As you go up. Understand, though, that that's not exactly how twin harmony parts are put together. You may play 3rds, 4ths, and 5ths in stretches, but overall, you're going to be switching the relationship between the 2 guitars to create the most pleasing and appropriate harmony for the melody. One of the guitars is playing the melody line. The other guitar comes in and supports with a harmony, just like when you're singing, you have the lead part and then you have the harmony part. Well, this is the guitar version of that. So you really need to pay attention to what's going on when you're putting things together. And when you're learning parts by other people, say the Allman Brothers or Thin Lizzy, whomever, you will recognize, okay, he's shifting from thirds to fourths or to fifths or whatever they are. Maybe they're staying very strictly with thirds, fourths, or fifths or whatever it is they're doing. The idea, though, is that this is not the hard and fast rule. You will shift the harmony to help the melody, not hinder the melody, just as with vocal harmonies. Everything is designed to support and lift up and sound pleasing and supportive of the main melody. Okay? So practice these ideas and really begin to get it clear in your head. In the next segment, we're going to go a little bit deeper, okay? So get this down, get this clear, get this understood, and you'll be ready for the next segment. All right? Thank you so much for letting me be your teacher. Thank you for spending the time learning this stuff. This particular lesson and this particular subject is really fun. All right? So get ready for the next segment, and we'll see you there.